welcome back everyone, it's me Matt, really appreciate you stopping by today. We're talking about attack helicopters today, specifically gunships, and one of them being the beautiful Apache helicopter that we're looking at right now, the AH-64, and the other is the Tiger, otherwise known as the Eurocopter to some. Now I have done a video on both of these helicopters before specifically, if you want to go check them out you can, but today I want to focus more along the lines of what is replacing future helicopters of today. Now the Apache has earned its place a very, very prestigious area in the realm of battle honors for what it's done, what it can do, and what it's still doing. But, as has the Tiger, and the United States has really pushed its platform of the AH-64 into the realm of every military across the globe, especially when it comes to NATO forces. And for Australia, they've also tried to do the same thing. They want Australia to buy Apache, of course, why wouldn't they? It makes them good money. But the Tiger is already in service with the Australian Army, and I find it quite fascinating that the US military is pushing real hard to try and get not only the AH-64, but the AH-1 Cobra into their flight program. Now, why, you may ask? Well, there's a couple of small things that they're not too happy with the Tiger. Unfortunately, Tiger is starting to become also quite an aged platform, and it doesn't have the same level of support as, say, the American Apache does. You've got to remember that Australia is a long way away from Europe, which is where this aircraft was primarily designed. Now, the support from Europe on this platform has been very good for Australia. They've had a very good running record with it, and they really, really enjoy it. But unfortunately, in terms of future state, no one is looking to upgrade or change Tiger very much, whereas the Apache is a very modular and technologically advanced system that they're concurrently putting new upgrades and platforms onto it to make it even more effective as it is today. So it comes as no surprise that Australia is looking at taking on the AH-64 as their own platform for attack and reconnaissance helicopters. Now, Boeing has outlined key selling points for its AH-64E Apache offering in Australia's Project Land 4503 requirement for 29 armed reconnaissance helicopters. During a virtual media tour, TJ Jameson, a Boeing director of vertical lift for international sales, discussed the capabilities of the AH-64E. The company also provided a cockpit demonstration about how Apache identifies and engages targets, as well as a virtual tour of its Mesa, Arizona production facility. Now, the Land 4503 acquisition will see the Australian Army replace 22 of its Airbus helicopters, which are the Tigers, with a new rotorcraft still being selected today. The deal has attracted strong interest from Bell with the AH-1Z Zulu and incumbent Airbus helicopters, which has said it can take on the Tiger platform beyond 2040 and save the Australian taxpayer a claimed $3 billion Australian dollars, which is a lot of money. Well, in US dollars that's 2.2 billion, but you can see that's a lot of money, and when it comes to attack helicopters, nothing is going to be cheap. Now, at the outset of the Boeing briefing, Jameson was very quick to address the issue of how well Apache could operate from ships amid salty, littoral conditions. Canberra has stressed that the helicopter it chooses must be capable of operating from ships and must be able to work alongside amphibious assault vessels such as HMAS Adelaide and Canberra. Now, Jameson notes that the UK has had extensive experience operating its Apaches from vessels at sea, which is a massive selling point, and this has generated learnings about such things such as freshwater cleaning procedures, and the Apache's rotors can actually be manually folded for shipboard storage. Bell, one of Boeing's major rivals in the Australian competition, has consistently trumpeted the maritime capabilities of the AH-1 Zulu. The US Marine Corps routinely deploys this type of aircraft aboard its amphibious assault ships. The Australian Army has also embarked the Tigers aboard Navy vessels. This included a 2019 deployment that saw 4 of the type deployed to the Canberra as part of a special voyage south through the Southeast Asia Sea. However, he also stresses the AH-64E's Block 6 hardware and software update includes an advanced maritime capability for the helicopter's Lockheed Martin Northrop Grumman APG-78 longbow fire control radar, allowing it to detect and classify contacts at sea. The APG-78, originally designed to detect tanks and other vehicles, should ideally equip one of the 3 Apaches, as an Apache with the radar can set and share contact between each Apache platform and basically give it a wider network and variation of radar contacts across the seas. Whilst the AH-64E is arguably the most capable and future-proofed of the 3 designs that have been proposed to the Australian military, really not all of them hold the same merit. An upgrade to the existing Australian Tiger fleet would certainly be the most cost effective and leverage existing support and sustainment facilities and equipment, further driving costs down. The Tiger, however, suffers from not entirely undeserved reputation for poor availability within the ADF, exemplified by a delay of 7 years of getting the platform into operational service, meaning that the Tiger could not deploy to support Australian forces in Afghanistan. Now, the AH-1 Zulu is of course being adopted by the US Marine Corps, and Australia's close links with the US Marine Corps, including the Marine Rotational Force Darwin, based in the country's far north, made sense from a commonality perspective. Critics of the Tiger have argued that should Australia need to deploy its ARHs, particularly in the immediate Indo-Pacific region, it will most likely be alongside the US Marine Corps element or Marine-led task force. But let's not try and make the Apache the golden poster child of attack helicopters. As of right now, it's in some troubled waters. The US Army has grounded 12 upgraded Apache AH-64 helicopters while it conducts a review of quality procedures at a Boeing plant after the contractor alerted the service to the improperly performed inspections, according to officials. A technician, who has since been dismissed, quote, failed to perform required process control checks that ensure testing equipment functions properly and provides reliable results, unquote, according to an Army document sent to Congress that was obtained by Bloomberg News. Quote, as a result, this employee's inspection results cannot be trusted for accuracy, unquote, and therefore the helicopters must be grounded. Boeing is re-inspecting all suspect components at the plant in Mesa, Arizona, and so far one failed a retest, according to the Army. It said Boeing, quote, continues to research data archives to determine the full extent of the problem, unquote, and, quote, to date, Boeing stated that at least 12 AH-64E remanufactured aircraft were delivered, unquote, with suspect components. The Army has said it has completely grounded them. None of them were from foreign customers, just for their internal, but it does put a little bit of a black mark against the current contracts that are being proposed towards the Australian military. Boeing spokesman Todd Bletcher said in a statement that, quote, we recently discovered improper record tracking of some parts and inspections conducted at the facility, unquote, by an employee who no longer works at the company, and the company will remove and replace the parts at no cost to the Army. But this improperly performed inspection is a little concerning. I mean, what else is potentially missing from these aircraft that could have been done incorrectly? I work in the aviation industry, and I can safely say that, every measure is put in place to make sure that, aircraft and, systems, flight systems, all that good stuff is checked to the highest level. And mistakes are made, things go wrong. We're human, that's what human factors is about. But when it comes to major contracts that are going on around the world right now, this is not something that I'm sure Boeing wants to have on their mind is, inspection faults for something that's being pushed across, a very large player in the military world for attack helicopters. And upwards of 20 requirements of those attack helicopters is no small bid. We're talking of billions of dollars that could be placed upon here. Now, other contenders, using the AH-1 Zulu is interesting, and I like the fact that they're actually relating upon a military that is working literally right beside them with the same platform to coincide with the Australian military. But the big seller right now, and what the Australian military is really pushing for, is the maritime nature of these helicopters. And Apache was never really designed to be used at sea, but the new upgrades are allowing it to be used at sea more effectively. And the British military is pushing hard for that too. The British Navy is pushing on board with their new aircraft carriers the capability of launching Apache helicopters, and it's working well for them. So I'm really curious what's going to happen in the near future when it comes to the Apache and whether or not it comes into US contracts with Australia. Will it be sold to them? Will they take it on? I'm very, very curious as to what's going to happen with them, honestly. I love the Tiger. I really do. I think it's a beautiful aircraft, and I love the Apache too. It's served alongside me being in Afghanistan, protected me on several occasions, so I have respect for them both. But I think it's safe to say that, there's a lot of competition out there. A lot of people want this program and want this contract. And the Australians, I hope, get exactly what they looked for and what they're wanting to have from, a gunship like this. It's interesting they put the basis of reconnaissance from the Apache. It's not something that I've always, looked at Apache and think, yeah, that's a reconnaissance helicopter. But I also found some interesting news about the Apache recently, that it can actually launch drones. Yes, they can actually put a 4-pack of drones on this thing and launch a drone from the helicopter to be give an even further in-depth reconnaissance without having to fly into dangerous environments, which is pretty impressive, and something I think we need to talk about in a video in the future is, you know, drones being launched from flight-controlled piloted aircraft, which is pretty cool. It's a concept I never really thought about, but it extends the range and capability of that drone significantly. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, folks. I would really appreciate you leave me a like and a comment. If you want to be notified of any upcoming content in the future, please feel free to click the little bell by the subscribe button so you can be notified of any upcoming content. Also, thanks to everyone who has been part of my membership and my channel, monthly subscription. I really do appreciate that. And also those who have been following on my Patreon and supporting me there. Really appreciate your financial support to me and this channel. It does mean so much to me. So personally, from every level of respect, thank you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye.